New at 10, UW-Oshkosh released plans to rearrange its academic structure to save potentially millions of dollars. The most recent proposal suggests reducing the university's 4 academic colleges down to 3 as part of an ongoing effort to address declining enrollment. On the UW-Oshkosh academic planning page, the university lists 2 models aimed at saving administrative costs. Both plans restructure the colleges of business, education, and human services, letter and science, and nursing down to 3 new categories. Model A would result in a $1.75 million in savings annually and include 3 colleges with 6 schools. Model B would save $1.5 million and include 3 colleges with 8 schools. And this coming after layoffs and furloughs in previous months at the university to save additional funds, as well as shifting to online learning at its Fond du Lac campus.